What is up, everybody? Welcome back to today's mukbang. Today's mukbang, we're having some party food. We have some smoked weenies, some carrots, some ranch dressing, some chip dip for my chips. We have some chips, we have some cheese, and we have some good old cold milk over here. We're about to dig in. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten nothing all day, so yeah, let's just go ahead and say a blessing and let's dig in. Thank you, Jesus, for this day. Thank you for helping us in all we do. Just think us safe tonight. Be a smarter day. Help us all get along. Forgive us all for our sins. Jesus, we be with the ones who do without. Put your hands on them. Put your hands on everybody. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. All right. So, how have y'all been? Hope y'all been good. If this is your first time watching, or if you're returning, and you have not hit subscribe yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join our family, and leave a comment down below. So, I've been asked to do a story time by y'all. So then is what we're going to do today. All right. So, what am I talking about? Let me see. Let me find a story. What story do I want to tell? Okay. So I'm going to tell a story about my great-great-grandmother. Well, great-grandmother, not great-great, great-grandmother. So anyway, so she used to live beside of us. But anyway, when she still lived beside of us, she's like 80-something years old, okay? So, her second husband, which does not like us at all, like we don't even claim him because he's so rude and disrespectful. Like, we don't claim him. But anyway, he doesn't like us. He doesn't like her side of the family. And anyway, so we never got to see her much, even though she lived right beside of us. So, one day, we get a phone call from her. And she says that she's got breast cancer. And she wants us to come to the hospital when she has it. And she told us this behind her husband's back. Because if he would have known she done this, like, you're freaking find out what would have happened. But actually, the day comes that she's having her surgery, and we're all at the hospital. We walk in. Her husband sees us. I'm gonna tell you, he went berserk. Like, I'm telling you, berserk. Because he doesn't like us. He doesn't like anybody on her side of the family. And I don't know why, but he don't. So, anyway, we go there. She's fixing to go back for surgery. He's being petty and all that. Well, anyway, so we're all waiting in the waiting room. He's acting crazy. And the doctor comes down and asks to speak to her power of attorney. Well, everybody who she invited there was me, my brother, my mom, my uncle, my other uncle and their wives, and my grandma and her husband, which is my grandma and my uncle is all my great-grandmother's children. So she invited all of her children and her grandkid and her great-grandkids. Okay? So, the doctor was like, I want to speak to the power of attorney. So, no one knew who that was besides the person. And the person that was a power of attorney was one of my uncles. So he went in the room with the doctor or with the surgeon, and her husband was like, "So why can't I come in there?" He was like, "Well, I need to speak to your power of attorney, but you can come in here too." He didn't like that. He didn't like that he wasn't power of attorney. Her husband. So he showed his butt again. Anyway, so it tells you everything goes good. And they're moving her upstairs to like recovery. That we could go upstairs and wait in the waiting room for like 30 minutes. Give them 30 minutes to get her like settled and, you know. Because she just came out of a big surgery. Well, her husband is like, "I'm not waiting." So he goes through them doors, goes to her room, goes up in there. Remember, she just got out of surgery. He goes up in there. She's laying in bed recovering, okay? He gets up in her face. He starts yelling at her, cussing at her. And the nurse is in there. The nurse has to pull him off with her. And gets on the nurse's face and does the same thing. So then security was called. And the rest of her family, like us, was put in a room all by ourselves, away from him, away from everybody, to keep us safe because her husband was going insane. So anyway, they escorted him out, security did, told him he wasn't allowed back. So he goes home. He had some of his friends come up there and try to sneak into the hospital to see her. So these people come in. I just bit my jaw. Asked to see her. They come and asked us, "Do we know who they are?" We're like, "Yeah, it's his friends." They're like, "Do you want them to see her?" And we're like, "No." And anyway, so they told them that they couldn't see her. So then we had to come up with a plan. But all along, okay, before this even happened, my grandma has divorced this man 4 times. She's went back to him 4 times. He's tried killing her. He's tried doing everything. There's nothing we can do. Because it's her decision. So this is the 5th time. So, while we're in the room all by ourselves waiting, the nurse tells us that before surgery, that she had told the doctors what was going on, that he had tried killing her again, and all that stuff, and that she wanted to leave him, get restraining orders, get a divorce, all this stuff, and we didn't know that she had done this. So we're sitting there, policemen are there. After we find out, the policemen come and all this, they talk to us and all this. I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. Just get her divorced and all that stuff again." But, anyway. So she told the nurse what had all been happening with her husband. And they started the court process. Like, the restraining orders, the divorce, all that. Well, then, she gets out of the hospital. We take her home, beside of us. And her husband, because he was, like, the cops told him that he couldn't stay at his house because that's her house, it's in her name, so he had to leave, find somewhere else to go. When he got kicked out of the hospital. So, he got out of the hospital, Took her home. We got home. When her husband got kicked out of the hospital, he went to their house. He changed the security code on their alarm system. Trying to get back at her. So we had to break into her own house. I had to get the police involved. The police came up there. They had to help us change the password and all that other stuff. So we got that fixed. So she lived with one of her sons, who's retired, for like a month. She came back home. All of her family was taking care of her. I was with her every night, walking her dog, watching Dr. Phil with her, playing checkers with her. And one day, she started getting a phone call every single night at the exact same time. She's like, it's a friend. I was like, okay. We got her a new phone and all that stuff. New locks on the house, everything. Anyway, come to find out, she had been speaking to her husband again. She'd been hanging out with him behind our backs. After she got a restraining order, 50B, and divorce. They went to court. She got the divorce and everything. But after all that, she'd been talking to him and hanging out with him behind our back. And she lied about it. So I called her. I was like, why are you lying? Anyway, one day, she asked me to take her to see her lawyer because she made a new will. So we go down to pick it up. She made this whole lie about how her appointment was at 9 o'clock. We get down there at 9 o'clock in the morning. Her appointment wasn't until 11, but she lied to me, told me her appointment was at 9 o'clock. So she showed her butt in the lawyer's office, saying that I was very busy that day, that I couldn't stay down here and wait for her. I'm like, Mama, I canceled all my plans to do whatever you wanted to do this day. To come see your lawyer, to do whatever. So I told her, I was like, we're staying to speak to your lawyer. Like, we'll go out to eat, we'll go get breakfast, we'll go get whatever. But we're coming back. She's like, no, we're not. I was like, yeah, we are. I mean, I was nice about it, but anyway, so we finally see her lawyer. And she's like bullcrapping her lawyer. Okay? Bullcrapping him. She looks at her lawyer and she goes, do you think I'm crazy if I go back to my husband? Her lawyer was like, what'd you say? And then I asked her lawyer, I was like, do you have a bathroom here? Because I wanted to speak to her lawyer one-on-one. To tell him what had been happening. Because she ain't fooling nobody else. So, I got her lawyer one-on-one in the hallway. Because she showed me where the bathrooms were. And I told him, I was like, you know, my grandma has been talking to her ex-husband. Has been hanging out with him. And all this other stuff. He was like, I kind of figured that by the way she was acting. And by the question she just asked him. He was like, how about you hang out with my assistant while I talk to her? I was like, okay. So, he talks to her. He calls me back in the room and he's like, alright, my grandma, like, she's in good health. Like, good health. To being 87 years old. She looks at me. She looks at her lawyer. She looks back right at me. And I'm sitting beside of her. She goes, I don't want my family. And I don't need them. I was like, oh. Okay, you want to play that game. Again. For the 5th time. Cut your losses. Because she's done this 4 times already. Without me being involved. Like, she's done this 4 times. This 5th time I was involved because I was taking care of her. I go, okay, let's go. Let's go home then. She asked me, she's like, can we stop and get ice cream? I'm like, yeah, sure. We'll stop and get ice cream. Because I actually love you. And we stop and get ice cream. She goes in there. She's like, you stay in the car. I'm going in. I'm like, okay. Like, I was mad. She goes, what kind of ice cream do you want? I was like, give me whatever. And she comes back out like 10 minutes later. And she's like, where's my cell phone? I'm like, in your pocketbook? She's like, I need it. I was like, okay. She goes back inside. Why do you need a cell phone to order ice cream? But I know why. She calls her husband, her ex-husband. Then she comes back out in my car. We go home. As soon as we pull in her driveway and I drop her off, her husband pulls in, or her ex-husband, picks her up. They move away. They move like 45 minutes from here. I've not seen her since. I have seen her since. I've seen her at town. And she acted like she didn't do anything. And she said, well, she's like, you know, I love you and I miss you. And I'm like, how can you say that when you've done this 5 times and you looked me in my face and told me you didn't want me and you didn't need me? And then she says, you better go on now before my husband comes out here and he sees you talking to me. How can anybody treat their family like that? How can anybody? Someone who's taking care of you, has helped you, and you look at them and you tell them, I don't want my family and I don't need them. And then you see them in public and you say that you miss them and you love them. I don't get it. But then every once in a while, they'll come up here to the house beside of us. I'll be in the yard. I'll holler at her. Say, hey, Grandma, I love you. Because even though you've done me wrong, I still love you. She'll hear me. She'll look at me. She'll act like I don't exist. She won't say nothing. She won't wave. She'll go inside. But the thing is, her husband has tried to kill her. Her second husband, not her like original husband. He's tried to kill her I don't know how many times. He's threatened her. He's threatened us. She's left him 5 times, and every single time she goes back to him. I don't understand. I know she might be scared of him, but we had her secured. When you got a 50B, when you got a restraining order, that means don't talk to him. But we knew she was going to go back to him. We knew it. She's done it 4 times. Why wouldn't she do it again? But the thing that hurt me the most, after taking care of her and being there for her, she looks me in the face and says, I don't want my family and I don't need them. And that hurts. But I still love her. But I can't put myself in situations to try to help someone who doesn't want help. Or who doesn't want her family. Because she would rather be with someone who abuses her, who tries to kill her, who manipulates her. And we've talked to law enforcement, and law enforcement says she's old enough to make her own decisions. She knows what she's doing. There's nothing y'all can do. So that's when you just have to give it over to God and let God take it in His own hands and live your own life and just hope and wish and pray for the best for her. But it hurts when a family member that you've taken care of just tells you she don't want you and she don't need you. Anyway, that's my story time. I'm full. It's a long story. I'm sorry. Let me know in the comments, like, if you can relate to me. If you have any advice. I mean, there's nothing that I can do, so... Because the law enforcement, the lawyers have just said it's her life. She has to do what she wants to do. We've been asked, is her brain fine? Like, you think she's mental? She's not. I think she's just scared of her husband. Scared that he's going to hurt someone, her family. But we're not scared of him. And obviously she is. But anyway, yeah, that's my story. Sorry if it was like so intense, but yeah. But thank y'all guys so much for watching. Hope y'all guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please hit subscribe if you have not yet already. Leave a comment, leave a like, and I will see y'all guys in my next mukbang. Alright, bye.